What is up, everybody? We are here live. Tonight, we have a super cool guest. I was just talking to her, shooting the shit. And within 5 seconds of being on there, I already knew she was a great guest for this podcast. Another Master Distiller winner. And, you know, I give her props for what she did, man, because that's not easy, turning wine into shine. But here we are, man. We have Miss Clara Robbins Ward.
Hello, that's me.
Master Distiller, Clara Robbins. See, I would put that in front.
Okay.
Now I think you just officially took over like the world's longest name.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think I'm just like, well, this is my name, but this is my title. So
yeah, I mean, names and titles, it's, you know.
So
how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I am good. Very good. So do you feel like how do you feel? We're just going to go right into, how did you feel watching yourself on TV?
I've watched it like 6 times. I can't stop.
Right. So are you taking pictures? That's what I did. I would stop the TV, zoom in, take pictures. Use those, you know.
I know. I can't stop like watching and then cracking up at the shit that I say. Like yes, ma'am, and like it just so I just keep cracking up over it. I even threw a watch party at my distillery a couple weeks ago, and that was so much fun because like then like all my friends are there like just watching, and like I'm like picking up a barrel and they're all screaming for me in the distillery. It was so cool.
And that's what's really cool is your friends get to see that other side of you. Like,
yeah,
bossing it up, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just throw this barrel up on here, you know?
Yeah,
we're like,
I know. Yeah, I mean, in the episode, like Digger was saying, like, look at Clara pick up that drum. Like that girl's stout. I'm like, yeah, I'm strong. And then immediately goes to me picking up a barrel at home, and I'm like, well, yeah, thank you for validating me.
So after watching your episode, and this is one that I ask all of them, like, do you feel that they didn't show some cool stuff that you think that they should have shown?
Just the one thing, I think everything is fine. Like, cause there's so much filming, like you have like 5 days of filming, like you can only get that much, like so much in like, 45, 50 minutes. But the one thing that I was bummed about was like when I left, like after winning, first of all, I like collapsed. I was like, oh my God, like fell to to the floor. And then on the walk out, I had the jar in my hand and I was just like, and I had it in the air. I'm like, yeah. And when I left, like the EP was saying like, that was so cool. That was the coolest exit that we've ever had. Like I've always wanted somebody to do that. It reminded me of like the Breakfast Club and all this stuff. And then it wasn't even in it. I'm like, well, it was your favorite exit and you didn't even put it in there. Right. So like, how much did you really like that?
Yeah. What the heck?
Yeah.
You know, like
like less than 5 seconds. Like just 1 second of like putting that in the air, and that's it. So that's the only thing. I mean, it was kind of crazy that like we had a whole challenge like initially to like pick our ciders, and that wasn't included, which is totally fine because honestly I was so embarrassed by how I did. So I was very much okay that was not included.
What was you embarrassed about? Like,
well, I'm a super taster, and I've like been like my palate has been tested like so many times.
Right.
And we had to taste all of the different cider options and list off like all the fruits that we taste inside of it. And I scored so poorly. I got second, and I was like, this is so embarrassing. Like I'm a super taster. I do this. I should be scoring like way more than this. Oh, yeah. So I was not upset about that being left out.
So that was a part that they didn't put on there. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, but still though, like, you know what that shows? That shows that you're human, because let me tell you what I did before I went down there. And because, for what moonshine and everything like that, what is the main thing everybody does as soon as they pick up a jar? They want to shake it and look at that bubble bead. And they're like, you know what I mean? They're like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? And so I had my wife I had 3 different kinds out. I had her put them in jars, wheat, whatever. I got every single one of them wrong.
Well,
When I went on the show, they wanted 85. They wanted 80 proof. I gave them 85.
oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and then you're doing your thing and you're knocking them out of the park. So you chose.
Well, I could not read a fucking bead. Oh my gosh. They were like trying to describe it to me, trying to help me out so much. And I couldn't, no. But like so I kept on going high, and I mean, not the highest, like, and it's still in a good range, just saying. But but by the time I got to the like final challenge, when like I knew what I was tasting for, because I have like made this recipe before, so I knew what I was looking for. So I'm like, well, I can't read a freaking bead, but I can definitely taste what proof this is supposed to be at. So I was just tasting, adding like little thimbles of water, until finally I'm like, no, that's right. And I was shooting for 90 and I hit 92. Man, it was so good.
I mean, like, see, like,
yeah. Oh man, when they said that, I was like, yes, I know. I know.
So you did that. So you pretty much zoned in by the taste of the alcohol.
Yes.
So that 90 proof, what that's gonna.
It was mainly because I did a gin, so I knew how the gin was supposed to taste, because I do proof evaluations at home, like, well, I mean, at work, for like, what is this supposed? How does this taste at different? Just a various amount of proofs. So I knew how this gin was supposed to taste at 90 proof. And so I just kept on adding a little capful at a time. And then I'm like, no, this is how it's supposed to taste. And it was right at 92.
That's cool. Like that's really super neat. I got to read some of these comments first. So this is my wife. My wife is on under as me. She is my producer. She is telling you congratulations, and she is all about woman power. So she's super excited. Everybody else, Daniel Stevens, the troublemaker, is always in here. Who else? A few others, but I just didn't want to forget anybody. Let's see real fast. Okay. So gin, what got you into gin? And explain gin to what to everybody that might not know what gin is.
So I started distilling up in Kentucky. I was working at Castle and Key, and we were basically we had everything whiskey wise aging in a barrel, because we were like a relatively new distillery. So we were really making our bread and butter off of gin and vodka, along with contract distilling. So with the gin and vodka, I ended up doing really well in like my placement on the production team. So I got promoted to make all of the gin and vodka, basically all of that production, but also creating new recipes for gin. So we were coming out with seasonal releases twice a year. So I was developing new recipes all the time, just cranking out new recipes. They ended up sending me to gin school, and I became a gin specialist over there. So when I was there, I just was, lit up. I was having the best time. But like, making gin is so much fun, because like, you build out all of these isolates. I call it like my isolate library. So I just kind of feel it out. It's just kind of like my little groove zone. I turn the music like so high up. I'm just like kind of blind in there. Yeah.
We got to stop you right there. What are you jamming to? What puts you in that mode?
So many different things. Because I'm a musician. I play guitar. And so I tend to go towards like indie rock. But it just depends on my mood. Like sometimes, like I've been in like this big EDM kick lately. I'm like in a trance. I can't stop. Yeah. And then
you're waving out.
when I'm like trying to hype myself up. But for the most part, I'll like have like some like just kind of chill, groovy indie rock behind me, just so that I'm like just vibing out, Okay. And you just add, like, you have little droplets, like little pipettes for every single botanical. And I just start thinking like, okay, what do I want with this? Like, how do I want to start? What do I like? Am I trying for? Most of the time I go for a contemporary style gin. So not a whole lot of juniper. I go really more balanced on the like citrus forward. And then just something funky. I love doing like something weird.
So what was really cool that I noticed on the show, and it actually gave me goosebumps when they talked about it. And I was like, that's how you know that that you're a winner. Like, you know what you're talking about. You absolutely know what you're doing, because you're like, I want you to feel like you're on the beach, like one of them tropical moments. And they were like, oh my God, is there coconut in here? Because I feel like I'm on the beach. And I was like,
I know. Which is crazy, because like coconut when you do use coconut in gin, you don't get a whole lot of coconut flavor, because coconut itself, like real coconut, doesn't have a lot of flavor, only like a flavor that you buy, like an oil, but real coconut is used in gin more for a mouthfeel, to make it nice and smooth, because a lot of times what people complain about with gin is that it's harsh, that it tastes like a Christmas tree. And so whenever people come into the distillery, they're like, oh, I hate gin. It tastes like a Christmas tree. And I'm like, that's because you haven't had my gin. So my favorite thing is just to convert people. Yeah. I'm like, do you like flavored vodkas? Oh, well, yeah. I'm like, well, then that's a gin. That's exactly what that is. So I just love converting people, and then also impressing people who are already gin lovers. So like opening their eyes to something different, like not your like typical London dry gin. This is like something a little like just contemporary, modern, like something different than you've ever had. Which is why she's a double gold winner. She has won my gins, which is me. But
you were like, you had one of the top 5 best gins in the world.
Yeah.
Or was it 2 of them or something like
one of them? I have 2. Well, I have a few gins, but I have 2 that have placed, but the tropical gin won double gold.
Okay, double.
Yeah.
Listen, that ain't no joke, girl. You already know this. You're plugging in there. Now, at any point of time, where you kind of like, do you look at your opponents and you just kind of like, I got a little bit of worry, because I knew me. No matter how confident I may like come off, I was deep inside. The only one I was worried about was the chick, because that girl went to school for fermentation science.
I saw that.
You know what I mean? And I'm my wife's down here, women rule. You're right. They do. So and I was worried, because she was over there roasting like nuts in a thing, and I'm sitting there thinking pecans, and I know the judges love pecans. They got this pecan drink, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm done.
Yeah.
I
mean? Was like, I think I was more worried about myself than everybody else. Like I was completely internalizing the entire time. Like I know what I'm capable of, but the entire time I'm there, I'm like, what if I fuck up? What if I ruin this? Like, what if I'm just like, if I don't win, then this is so embarrassing. And I have so much more to lose than these people do. Like they have a lot to gain, but I have a lot to lose. So I was just stressed about that, sweating through my clothes the whole time.
Tell everybody how hot it is on that set.
No, every time I turn around on the show and they see my back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have worn something different, because there's just sweat all the way down my back. I'm like,
I almost felt like
disgusted.
Listen, half of that drink may be orange juice. The other half is at least what I'm putting into it.
Yeah, for sure.
The guy kept asking me, you have that little guy, that little dude that follows you around everywhere on set so you don't go somewhere you shouldn't be or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, you need anything? I said, yeah, like 10 more freaking towels, dude. I'm fucking dying over here.
Yeah.
My bandana.
I know. Chuck had a towel in his pocket, and he was just wiping himself off. And I show up. Oh my gosh, it's so. When I think back, I'm like, this is so embarrassing. I came in with like a suitcase of like outfits and botanicals, and so I'm like, well, I'll just change there, and like thinking it's totally different vibe. But if I could. Yeah, if I went back, I would have worn something completely different. I would have worn short overalls, like shorts, and a tank top or a sports bra, like minimal, because it was hot as balls there. Oh my gosh.
Listen,
and then like we were filming with another episode that was like there was a girl filming on that one, and she was just wearing a black tank top and jeans. I'm like, somebody could have told me. Like I should have worn that.
My buddy put it to me this way. He said, dude, you was probably so hot your socks were full of ball sweat. I was like, you're absolutely right, dude. You're right. That's how bad it was. Like, it's super hot on that set. And then not is it just hot from what you're doing, but like you're coming in right after somebody else. And it's like, so you pull out this big bag of like you had all kinds of secret weapons with you.
I did. I brought a whole suitcase, and I will say nobody on my episode brought anything with them. Like, we were told ahead of time that we could bring whatever we wanted for that final round, and I brought stuff, and nobody else brought anything.
See, that just
people did take things, but they did not bring anything.
I almost left mine. So the one thing that we were allowed to bring was cream, right? And I had it made up and in my hotel refrigerator, just waiting for that moment. And when the guy told us we were going to shoot that day, I was like, all right, cool. He's like, oh, you won't need to bring nothing. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm bringing it anyways, just in case. And luckily I did, because that was the final day or whatever. So, but
that could have been.
How did you get into distilling altogether? Like, where was your first start? What did you?
I'm a chemical engineer, so I started in that, and I learned how to distill in college, because in your final chemical engineering lab, we work on this 2-story glass still where you can see all the way through it. Like, it's a distillation column. You can see all the way through it, so you can see every plate, because it's meant to learn on. So, and then same with the condenser. The condenser was a shell and tube heat exchanger that was all glass. You could see straight through. It was so cool. So I learned how to distill there, and I was like, I'm going into fluid flow operations. I just had this passion for water, and then I got picked up from Castle and Key. So I went up to Kentucky to work there, because they didn't have any female distillers, but they had the first female master distiller of Kentucky. So I was like, well, here, I'll go. I'm down for whatever. So I went up to Kentucky and started distilling there. And I was sold on it. I loved it. It just clicked with me. And it fits my personality. I'm a Leo. I'm a bold, spicy girl.
What Leo here? July
27th. Yeah. I'm
26.
I'm the July 26th. Yeah.
Now look, you got to go to the Hillbilly Jam, because that's our birthday weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So it's scheduled every year for my birthday, either before or on. That's so funny.
That is wild. Yeah. So I was just obsessed with it. And then I moved down to Florida, because I hated the winters. I couldn't handle the winters anymore. And I was working at St. Petersburg Distillery, and I was there for about 3 or 4 years. And then I ended up starting my own place in Sarasota. I started Good Liquid Distilling Company, and people don't talk about how hard it is to do it yourself. So I ended up going back to St. Petersburg Distillery. They ended up firing their whole production team and asking me to come back full time as the master distiller. I'm like, yeah, because I'm only going back as that. But yeah, and then I got back in here, and it's been so much fun. So I'm, it's just been a great time. I've been a master distiller for four years now, and then I've been distilling for 10, and I can't do anything else. I tried going into water, and I couldn't live without it.
That's super cool, because just to be able to, you know what I mean? For anybody that's done that, it's not an easy task. It's not. And then for you, you're on a total different scale, because you're working in the bigger, so there's a good one. So how does that transfer over? Because I think you even said on the show, you were like, not my suit right here. I've never used anything like this.
I've never used a thumper. I had no idea what to do with a thumper.
Never.
I was so blind. And every night, I did do a lot of studying, leading up to it. But I never worked with any of those things. But when I was, people would after filming, they would go to dinner, they would grab drinks or something. And I just go right back to the hotel room. And I'm on my computer, just trying to learn. Yeah. And I would just fall asleep watching videos, watching old moonshiner, master distiller episodes. And, I gotta get familiar with this thumper, because I don't know what to do with it. And so I asked a few questions along the way, just to figure out what do I do with that for gin. And apparently it worked out. So running, because you put all your botanicals in a bag and put your bag in the thumper, right? Yeah, but let me tell you, whoever had to clean that out, I feel so bad for them because I was just like shoving them in there because I initially put like some bags in there. I weighed everything out, blended it all like how like I had planned out this recipe, and it was not coming out the way that I wanted it to, especially because I start with grain neutral spirit at home.
Right.
And I was then transitioning this into a wine to start. So like I had mainly Chardonnay, and Chardonnay is so floral that it was pulling out all of the floral notes from my orris root, and I did not like it. And so I kind of panicked, and I'm like, okay, I know that I need a little bit more juniper. I definitely need more green tea. And I think I'll do more coconut. I think that would smooth things out. And it's just like, it's kind of like when you're blending a gin in the lab, you just think like you taste it and you're thinking, I need a little bit more of this. I need a little bit more of this, because it's very similar to cooking. So I'm like, okay, I need a little bit of, okay, I'm just going to grab it. And I just started dumping it in there because I'm like, I don't have a lot of time. This shit's going on. Like, and so I just start dumping it in there and seal it up. I'm like, well, I really hope it like distills again. I hope it like keeps going. Like, I hope I didn't like crash it. And it's coming out, and I was like, no, that's exactly what needed to happen. That was it. So
you probably could have just, you probably could have just put your botanicals in the thumper without the bag. You know what I mean? Like
definitely. Cause I didn't use the bag when I started dumping things in there. I was just like, okay, I'm not going to be able to deal with this bag. Also, like, how are you going to get this bag out? Like, I think about that from a production side of like, whatever I put in, I have to take out.
Well, you could almost look at it like a gin basket.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was going for.
Right.
Was just like using it to infuse, because it's kind of in vapor form. It's like a mix of like maceration and vapor infusion, because they're in there. I was trying to hang it in there so that it was vapor. But I just got to the point where I just had to throw it in there. So it was kind of like an in-between, it worked out.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm probably not going to use the thumper again anytime soon.
Well, you never know.
I never know.
I personally, wait, hold on. So my wife is asking, what was the biggest challenge opening your own distillery?
Oh my God, I had to do all the taxes. That was the worst part.
Don't say that. We're going through it now. Oh,
no. It's okay. I'm not there. But that was the worst part. Oh my gosh, I had to do all the taxes for the TTB, and you have to do it every month. Some things you have to do twice a month. And that was the worst part of my job.
So you're making gin at your distillery?
I'm making it. Well, I do, I'm welcome to hop back in at Good Liquid anytime, but I am full-time at St. Petersburg Distillery now.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
But they're always like, if you want to come back and just, run some gin, we would love to have you do that. I'm like, I would love to. Like, that still is the best still that I've ever worked on. So it really is a joy to work with it. Like, it's the best I've ever had.
I can relate to that, because I learned on like a little pot, not a Weaver. This was before the Weavers were even thought of, but like I made my own stainless pot with a stainless bowl on it, clamped it around, I was, 15, that was about 16 years, maybe 17 years ago. I was throwing 120 proof down the drain. I'm like, it ain't strong enough. I need more, not knowing any different. Right. Yeah. So, you talk to a few people, and then you start dialing it in, and then you buy copper, right? Copper.
I was going to ask, did you deal with like sulfuric notes on the stainless?
So we went from stainless, and then out of that stainless pot, we went right into copper.
Okay.
Everything else, you got to have copper in that line. You know what I mean? Or you got scrubbers or whatever. But, we did that. I bought my copper still as a 25-gallon copper pot, and I loved it. It had the thumper. It has the worm. Yeah. It has all that. And then I'm like, as I'm progressing, I have a column still. And then it's like beer keg with column. And then I'm like, we're at 180 some proof. Woo! Well, boy, I would love to put that in my copper. So couple weeks ago, I got all courageous, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. So I soldered 2 tri-clamp things to the one to the bottom for the electric go in, and then one in the top of the cap that I put my column off of. And then listen, how you have the arm that comes out. I put a hose bib in there and soldered this copper cup that you would use for a Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
It's right there. So all I got to do is turn the knob, and it's like a thumper dumper, but I don't use a thumper. I'm dumping it directly into the steel. When the heads are done, it goes directly into the steel.
Interesting.
Because then we get more vapor. I'm more about, this is, I feel like this. Infusing, I feel like the flavors die. They weaken over time and they kind of dissipate. But I want the steam coming out of the pot where all the goodness is. That's what's going to carry me the most flavor. Why am I going to run that through another section one more time and lose more flavor? And now I gotta add more. Am I right?
No, it's true. Because like you're basically combining your low and high wines all in one method, instead of like going from like distilling off your low wines and then distilling it again in a high wine run. You're just combining it all in one.
Yeah.
Which is great. You should have less loss doing that too.
Correct. I mean, we're at 172 and it just stays because I got the D flag. Look, I'm getting goosebumps.
Love.
I see. That's how you know you're
doing it.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
I'm soldering like little supports inside the cap with copper. So
yeah.
See, that's one thing. But you on that scale, that's where I'm jealous at. Like on that such a big level, man. Like I would love. I mean, what's it like? What's the biggest pot?
Well, I have 5 total. Oh, my biggest was definitely in Kentucky. Like I had a continuous still, a 32-inch continuous still. So, I mean, you can't wrap your arms around it, and it was 3 stories tall and it was ongoing because it started in a beer well and then you would it's continuous. It's constantly flooding in there. And then it goes to a doubler, which was originally a pot. So they just turned it into a doubler so that basically you can do all of that in one. You have that low wine, high wine continuous operation, that was the best. Oh my gosh. Well, I really did love the best apparatus was definitely at Good Liquid because that is just completely customizable. And I built it myself. Like I assembled it all myself. And
that ginger.
That's Ginger. Yeah. There's actually 2 Gingers. There's there's 2 of her. She's a twin. So we had one at the production facility and one at the distillery, like the front of where people go walk into the bar and stuff.
Right.
And I distilled on the one at the distillery with the where the bar is, but the one at the production facility we had never put together. And so when we were filming that, I was like, this doesn't actually run. But she is the same exact, everything's the same as the other one. We just haven't hooked it up before. And so I'm like, this is Ginger. And please don't look at the disconnect that's up above me. But the real Ginger is at the distiller, at Good Liquid Lounge.
Okay. And that one's running it's not the nuts, running, you go in and you already know what you're doing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's so nice. Cause it has the pot and then 3 columns next to it. So it goes up to a 3-way valve. So you can hit either the tall stripping column or bypass that and go to a smaller stacked column or go to the gin basket. And that's all vapor infusion, which is my favorite type of infusion. So
good question. Now, so you just walk yourself right into these questions. You make right into it. So what is your number one go-to? What are you? Well, first of all, no, I want to go actually and talk about the palate thing. How do you? Because I know so this is really crazy, and I kind of pride myself on it now. Ever since doing this, it's really really cool when people stack flavors in liquor and you can taste them. And then when you say, hey man, are you tasting this? And they're like, yes. Yes, I am.
Yes, I do taste that.
You're like, oh, and it blows you away, right? So I know I have a little bit of a palate. I know it's there, but after a minute of doing that, bye-bye. It gets so blown out.
Okay, it really depends on what proof you're tasting that at. Because if you are drinking at a high proof, then your palate is just worth shit. Like it'll just blow it out.
Right.
And I know that that's probably what you're doing because you're a shiner. So you're probably drinking and tasting those at like 120 to like 170, like 150. You know, you're probably drinking high proof stuff.
I don't drink.
Oh, okay.
High quality control.
I'm like, no, wait.
Quality control.
Yeah, exactly. But at a high proof, probably. Right. Yeah. So but if you have like that lower proof, you know, like, I mean, like this is gin and this is at 90 proof. So like, well, basically it's at 86, but the, like, that's what you're like, if you're tasting at that proof, you can taste a lot more than if you're tasting at a high proof, because the alcohol will blow out your palate and cover a lot of flavor, which I referenced to on the show, like in my first challenge, like when we all had just distilled the I think that was it. Yeah, when we distilled the cider, I was saying that like my proof was high, but I didn't like the flavor that was coming off of it when it was lower, because it was bringing out a lot of off aromas. So when I was like, well, I'm going to have to like send this high. And they're probably going to say like, oh, she sent it high. Like she doesn't know how to read a bubble. But like the thing is, like, if I dropped it down in proof, it wouldn't have been as good. So
and that was something I noticed that you had said on there, that you would rather go in at a higher proof, right? Mm-hmm. And then lose any of the flavor that you already have. If your flavor's at a low end, right? Is that what
Yeah. So when I was dropping it down, it did not hold in flavor. It was just boring. And I think part of it is that watermelon, like when you distill watermelon, you know, there's just not a whole lot there. So I think it just was kind of bland. But when it was at a higher proof, it tasted fine. Like it tasted really nice. But that's kind of where I come from in a distillery. You're tasting things, like we distribute. So I have to pick a bottling proof before I ever decide on, like, you know, well, my colas, you know, my formulas for the TTB. Like I have to pick a proof beforehand, and that is all doing a proof evaluation. You taste, like, let's say a whiskey. I have a whiskey at every single proof from like 80 to 130 at every single proof. So you have to taste every single one of them to see which one it's the best at. So you have to know, like, you have to figure out, like, this whiskey is really great at 103, but this whiskey is better at 112. You know, like, you have to be able to compare and see, what is this one asking? What proof does this spirit want to be? You know, and that was like, for that one, it wanted to be high.
Okay. See that? Yeah. I'm just amazed at that. Like, it's so cool because, like, again, like, you literally proofed it by flavor. Like
that, I was so shook by that.
That was super cool. But so, like, we had to do some wild stuff like that. And before we had, you know, shake it and give it to them, I did this. I filled up 4 jars. This is the coolest thing. And I don't know why they didn't do it. This is what I get a kick out of telling everybody. And I filled up 4 jars, and they give you them big barrels of water, right? So I took the first 2 jars and I just put them in that barrel of water to keep them cool. And
okay.
They were filled to the same height. And then I took the next 2 and I put them in that barrel to keep them cool. And then I looked in that barrel and I was like, oh, science happening here. 2 of them floated and 2 of them sank. Now they were all filled with the same. So what that tells me, the 2 on the bottom have more water in it. The 2 on top are higher proof. So I knew which ones were lower and which ones were higher. See, look,
that is so cool. I have never thought of that.
Yeah, you just make your own hydrometer, right?
That's so nuts. Oh my God.
Yeah, because I mean, water's heavier than alcohol, so it's going to bring that down, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you working with a thumper, another thing you could have done, and I don't know how you compare this to what you do, but like after you hit 30 proof, you know, you got your tails, they're gonna fog up a little bit. You're gonna get a little foggy. After that fog, you got to stay in it till that foggy goes away. Then you get your sweet water.
Yeah.
That's what you proof down with. When you do that. so on my episode, it was funny because Digger was like, I don't even think he blended at all, if any. Right? Because all I did was took two jars, and I was like, yeah, with a little of this, a little of that. And then I knew where I was in the run. So I was like, I'm going to take that sweet water. And I was like, that much of that sweet water went in there. So when I shook it, I said, yeah, about right. And they were trying to get me something else too. I could teach you to do is, you know how you look at your hydrometer? You have, what is it? They call that the meniscus or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll do the same thing on a jar.
Okay.
So the higher the band, the higher goes up the meniscus, the thicker the higher the proof.
Interesting. Okay.
The thinner the band. So like when you look at a jar and you see this band around the top.
Yeah.
That line. It's either I sometimes get it confused, but sometimes I think it's the thicker it is, the higher the proof.
I'm sure there's some correlation to that with like the legs on a spirit.
Yeah, on how slow it comes down, right?
Yeah.
See, people don't understand. There's a lot that really goes into this.
I know. See, I'm an engineer, and so I overthink a lot. And these are things that I'm like, oh my God, how would I have? Yeah, I would never have thought of that because I would have blown right past it.
Right. See, and then I just when I looked in that barrel and I saw them I'm like,
that's so cool. You know what I love is like when when I'm running the still and like the heads is coming off and it creates a layer because like some of it is heavier than the other. So like if you look in like if you're dumping your heads into a like 5-gallon bucket, you'll see layers and it's like different because they're like the alcohol is coming off it, or at least really the ethanol is coming off at different weights. And so you'll see liquid layers in the bucket. And that I think is so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I like the history of all this stuff, right? So especially when you learn from somebody, you'd be like, how do you know anything? And he'd be like, man, my dad was a moonshiner back in Virginia, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. He showed me that before I went on the show. He showed me how to read that line before I went. And that's
crazy.
It's pretty neat how stuff passes on. Like
that's wild. I found out that my cousins like come from like a long line of shiners. Like, but I think this is after I did the show before it came out. I went to dinner with like my cousin and his wife, and he's like, "Well, Clara, you know that your family comes from a long line of shiners," and I'm like, oh, what? And apparently that's the case. Like over in the Carolinas, they've all been shining this whole time.
See, and it's how cool is that like it's in your blood. It is. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. Listen, I didn't know this until after my dad passed away, but him and his brother were making shine. They weren't drinking it though. They were making it for fuel for a car, a little car that
yeah.
So it was like, it's in there. Plus it's illegal. Yeah. So that's, they're like, why do you keep coming back? Because I
know. Yeah, my family desperately wanted me to go into oil refining. And I'm like, well, I'm in the refinery business. It's just not oil.
We'll start with alcohol first. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I won't. I will not go to the oil industry. That's for sure.
Yeah.
People like my job too much. People like me. Like they like what I do. Like I can't do anything else.
What's your favorite, botanical to use? What's your go-to? Like, I know you had some crazy stuff on you.
Actually, green cardamom is my favorite. Green cardamom.
And what? Explain that.
Okay. So every botanical plays a role in a gin. So you can use some for mouthfeel, some for to basically blend things out. Like you have to add salt and pepper to everything that you eat for food. Or else you just don't taste anything. So like every little botanical plays a role. And I love green cardamom because it's like, first of all, it will smooth out a mouthfeel like crazy. Like people always told me like add licorice root and then I kind of figured out coconut. But then when I started playing around with green cardamom, that will smooth things out. It's also very potent, so you can't add too much, but it's not like a traditional cardamom. It's like green cardamom is super fresh. So I love green cardamom because it just like smooths everything out. You don't get any of that harshness from like alcohol, which is also something cool about gin. Like you can go up in proof a lot higher and you would have no idea because you're using botanicals to manipulate it. So you think that you're sipping on something that's like 70, 80 proof, but you're really sipping on something that's like 95 to 110. It's like,
I like how you whisper that. Like it's the secret.
Yeah. Yeah. You have no idea, but you're getting fucked up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. That's like, one of the big things I do here a lot of times to help smooth some things out because, they like to bust my balls because I like to do sugar shine, right? Sugar shine. Yeah. It's a neutral spirit. It's, but what I'm taking out of this conversation is we're going to go back to that little mouthfeel thing because, sugar shine gets a bad rap because of them. It's a dry mouthfeel, right? Like it's at, wow, I feel smart, but it's like a dry mouthfeel, right? So like, I want to figure out my ultimate goal, honestly, is I want to make some sugar shine and hand it to somebody and they'd be like, bro, that tastes like holy corn.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I want to make sugar shine that's corn.
So, essentially it's like rum, like if your base is sugar and, are you sold on just 100% sugar or like, would you add like something else to it?
I'll do it. Listen, so what I've been doing is I'll do a sugar wash and then when it's ready to run, then I put what I want inside the still and get the flavors that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I want to do an orange creamsicle clear.
Love.
Yeah. So I bought orange creamsicle.
You got to get coconut. You got to put coconut in there because you won't taste it. Honestly, you won't taste the coconut, but it'll feel creamy.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they swear, like whenever I use
your stuff.
I don't know why she would say, I don't know how she tasted that because like, or maybe it's just like, you see them, like you see somebody add it and then it's in your head, but like I swear when I taste no coconut. I have a 1%er palate and I taste no coconut, but it's smooth as hell. So like if you add coconut in there, like you will not taste it, but it will be smooth.
So it's like adding oats to like whiskey. That's going to smooth it out a little bit. Adding oats to rye or something like that. Just because I like to make sugar shine now, it doesn't mean, that's what I told them. It's probably better to ask me what I haven't made.
Yeah,
right?
Probably.
Sugar shine is what they prefer.
Yeah, I know. When they ask me what I do, I'm like, I told them all the spirits that I make and they kept on throwing episodes at me. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that. Oh no, I wouldn't be good at that. No, I don't want to do that either. And I'm just like,
what I told him? I said, hey, listen, I don't care what it is, bro. Put me on. Right?
I know.
Never made a sipping cream in my fucking life. Ever. They put me on this show and I fucking knock it out of the park. I tried. Listen, I ain't ever made fucking liquor out of bread, day old pastries before. Obviously, right? But it goes back, that right there goes back to, ancient, like Ukraine. That came all the way back from the Ukraine. They made liquor out of bread. Yes, very, very long time.
I think it just goes back to like, how are you at your craft? Like if you can do something that you've never done before, like you're good at it. You got it down, you'll figure it out. It's just like that ingenuity of like,
I left some bread and some water and it smelled like beer and they were like, I'm thirsty.
Yeah, exactly.
So running a big still for the first time, like you knew right then and there, like this is what you want to do. Like,
actually it's really weird. When I was in the lab, we took turns, like we had 3 huge experiments and we took turns in our groups of like, who is leading this experiment. And I was leading the distillation experiment. And I really shit the bed on it. I had to give a presentation and like talk about like, everything that we did. And I could not explain it at all. I was lost. And my team members were like trying to help me so much. And my professor was like, nope, stop helping her. And I did so bad. So it's crazy that like I did so bad in this experiment and could not explain distillation at all to like, where am I now? Like, and now I can tell you like, all this details of like distillation, what's happening technically and scientifically, but I could not say a thing in college. I also did not like being in public or like, talking in like just being the only one talking, like leading it, being in charge of anything. And so I would get like stage fright. And now I talk to people all the time. And
my wife, I give my wife so much credit for that, because let me tell you what, standing in front of any amount of people can be extremely nerve-wracking. And that woman stands in front of hundreds of people giving, speeches and talks and stuff like that. And it's like, I couldn't even stand in front of my brother's wedding to give a man's speech. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but she has hired, some good people to actually help her public speak and stuff like that. So
yeah.
But that's cool, man.
I just kind of went into the deep end.
That's your story is just amazing. You have a lot going on here. Like it's hard to even just start and pick somewhere. So like, how did your process?
I hop around a lot.
How did your process go getting on the show? Like, how long did it take you? And what made you even
up? A couple years. They had like reached out to me when I was probably in like 2021. And I was like, I think probably around then, maybe 22. And I was like on the verge of like I was planning out things with Good Liquid, trying to figure out like, how to open this up and like when to transition out of it. And so I just kept on turning, like every time that they reached out, I'm like, I do want to do this. I really do want to do this, but this is just not the right time, because I wanted to do it, when I was in Good Liquid. And, which ended up obviously was redundant because it came out when I was now back at St. Petersburg Distillery. So interesting, but I could have done this years ago.
Right.
But I was like, I want to do this when I'm with Good Liquid. And then it finally was like the right time. And they were giving me like some options for episodes. And I'm like, I don't want to do 0 proof alcohol. Like, I've never done that. And like just giving me all these options. And I'm like, I don't know that. I don't know. And they're like, well, you're running out of options because you never know if we're going to get picked up for another season. And I'm like, okay, just doesn't feel right yet. And so then then they sent me like 2 episodes that I really connected with. And I was like, no, it feels right this time. It feels right this time. And
so you got, man, I didn't get an option. They didn't give me no option. I guess
honestly, I feel like such a bitch saying that, because like when we were going around like talking like with the group of 6 of us that were filming together, we were all talking about it, and I was up, I'm like everyone was like, I've been applying for this show for years. I'm like just so excited. I've never done this before, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such an asshole. and yeah, it just.
But
I don't know, but
here's the one thing though, man, and this is just the one thing that every one of them has said, and it's funny, like you were in the zone, you were in your zone, you could definitely tell that by I did the same thing. I didn't go nowhere. I mean, we mashed in, and then we had a couple days. So I did golf one time in the Smoky Mountains.
Look at you!
Just because I had to. But after that, it was game time, man. I didn't come here to really piss around and go play. And I looked at it like this, because like if my whole area is going to know I'm slinging shine, I better win this so I don't have to worry about them knowing that I slang shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now. So like I went in there with, a little readiness, but I think what really kind of sealed it for me, it's like, having these conversations. I want to say it was Jeremy and what was the other girl? Oh, I forget her name. She was on the short hair. I forget who it was, but they were all out there talking. And like out in front of the, the hotel or whatever, and they were talking, it was all scientific and shit. And I was like, but I was trying to correlate it with how, my terminology. Yeah. And when I started hanging out, I was hanging in that conversation for a minute, and I was like, oh, same shit. Same shit,
No.
So, was you kind of like, did the cameras kind of make you nervous at all at any point?
I don't think I don't think so. The cameras really didn't make me nervous. I was just so nervous for myself. Like how am I gonna? Did I make a mistake? Should I am I gonna lose? And so I was just so much in my head. I really couldn't think about the cameras being there.
Right.
Honestly, if anything, I liked the cameras being there, but
that's kind of how I felt too. Like I kind of, I'm a clown when it comes to that kind of shit. I think like, you know what I mean? So like, but like, what was I going to say? I just had a brain fart. Oh, all right. Anyways, I don't know. I had a brain fart and I apologize for that.
No, I do that all the time.
That means I need another drink. Well, that's a good, perfect time.
That's what that means. Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting. I mean, like, meeting like all the different people, like having interacting, and they're from completely different spaces and different career paths. But like I was just worried about like, not so much like anybody specifically, but just like, how am I doing? Okay. Like, and we would just kind of work off of each other and chat the whole time. And like,
I think they were worried about you. You came in there, you come in pretty confident and just, but you're already a master distiller in a you know what I mean? And I think that kind of put a little bit of to it, you know what I mean? I'll tell you this, like I went in there and I heard the name Alfredo being kicked around, so I'm like, who's Alfredo? You know what I mean? Like trying to, like, oh shit, that's Alfredo. Like, so just knowing that you're going to go up against another master distiller, that's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And then was his name Gino or something?
Gino, yeah.
He was another blender, so he had another good palate.
Yeah, he came from a wine background, and so I was worried about like him and like the wines, like how he was going to do in that. But I don't know. It's.
Did you taste his? Did you get to taste his?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And then compared to yours.
Oh,
yeah,
I did. Honestly, Chuck's like for that like raspberry chocolate thing was so good.
Really?
I was like so confident. I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. And then I smelt and tasted it. And I was like, oh shit. Like what the, like I was not expecting that from you, sir. Put it away.
Yes, no.
Like that was, I'm like, honestly, I gotta be worried about that one. So his was actually like really good. But it was interesting because like every time that like Gino would smell something, or he's like, oh, that's all peaches. Oh, that's all something. I'm like, I don't get it at all. I'm like, oh, it's warm, like warm taffy. Yeah, watermelon taffy. I'm like, oh, no shit, it's watermelon.
Watermelon is a tough one. So that's like something that the communities and stuff have been going around. Like last summer, everybody was doing watermelon.
Yeah.
And like, that's a tough one to get, man, because like it's not like it tastes good when you eat it, but
there's not a lot of flavor to a watermelon,
right.
So like you're not going to pull a whole lot from a watermelon. And
no.
Think about it. It's almost all water. Like, what are you going to get? Like melons are not that strong in flavor.
Right.
So, and they don't have enough sugar to like really extract from. So there's not a whole lot to do with it,
Right. So, and then, okay. So going into like, you stepping in there, you seen that, because again, you said you never ran one with a thumper, right? Yeah. You said you go in there, and I think, it puts you all on the same scale.
For sure. I know. I kept on telling them that. Like anytime that somebody was like, well, I'm nervous about you, like you're a master distiller. I'm like, yeah, I've never ran this before. I've never used a thumper. I don't know this scale. Like I work on 700 gallons or more, like I'm not working on this little baby thing. I don't know what to do with this. So don't you worry. We are on a level playing field because I've never used this equipment before.
Listen, every dude out there was just about to have a pissing contest with you, and you just outpissed them right there with your 700. You're like, listen, I ain't ever used what? It's only 20 gallons. What the fuck you gonna do with that?
Yeah.
Well, we're home brewing today.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Man, I didn't know what to do with all of that. So I don't know. But I was also filming with Tyler Butcher on like Beer to Liquor. Have you met him?
Oh, Tyler's cool. I didn't meet him personally, but I've talked to
So
him.
cool. Let me tell you, that was probably the best person I met that entire time. He was so cool. And like, we ended up like all of us just were like collabing with each other, trying to figure like, especially like they were picking my brain a lot for the Beer to Liquor episode because they were making a gin. So they're like, Clara, what botanicals would you use? Even production was like, we have to like fill this little, market with different gin botanicals. What kind of botanicals should we have? And I mean, thank God, I guess for them, I wasn't over there because that's my spirit. But I was like just helping, like, doing the best I could to help. Like, and Tyler was just asking lots of questions about gin. I'm like, dude, anything I can do to help you, I'll help you. Cause you're a good one. You're a cool dude.
Yeah, you can tell who, and and that's, I tried to explain this to somebody the other day. Like, I'm not going to help somebody learn how to do this craft if your main goal is just to make money.
Right.
Because that's not what keeps this craft going, right? Like it's the love for it, number one. Like people like you, people like me, like you do it on a different scale than a lot of us other, but that doesn't, we all do the same thing. Like if I would walk in and see that big ass thing that you run, I'd be smiling ear to ear and be like, where's the on switch? Let's go. Like, let's do it,
Yeah.
So like, that's kind of how I felt on mine. See, like on my episode, where they got me was I'm a nice dude, right? I walked in there and I wanted to be Mr. Bad Guy, Mr. Meaner, right? Then you meet everybody and you're like, well, fuck, they're nice people. That's out the window. So then you start having conversations, right? So I'm having conversations with them. And, I find out quickly that Katie didn't run a thumper, never ran a thumper before. Dude has his own distillery, so he's kind of on your level. He's running big talkins and shit like that. And, I just started messing around with columns. So like I told him, well, if I get the option, I'm taking that thumper. Sure shit.
Yeah.
Sure shit. She took the thumper.
It's wild.
Now, right before all that even goes on, they're talking, well, if you get to go in there and pick your bread first, what are you taking? And I'm like, well, that's easy. I'm taking all the rye. I want rye. All the work's done for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm taking the rye. Man, wouldn't you believe dude took 3/4 of the rye?
Dude, let me tell you, I know. I know. I've been there. That's exactly what happened. Like we were talking before, like going into like pick our wine. We were like, so Gino and I were like, going back and forth on like distillation and wine. So we were trying to like, help each other out in different ways. Like, can you tell me a little bit about wine? Like, I've distilled Chardonnay, but I haven't distilled anything else. And, but I can help you out with like, any other kind of distillation questions, but we were talking about all that. And so leading into that, I'm like, so, I'm like, and I'm upfront about my game plan. I'm like, right. I want to make gin in the final episode, like in the final, like challenge. And like, I have distilled Chardonnay before and I like how that was coming out. I definitely want to do that, but I'm kind of thinking like a Sauvignon Blanc and then we'll see what else is in there. But I love Sauvignon Blanc and I could do Sauvignon Blanc. And he goes, oh, you don't want Sauvignon Blanc. You don't want Sauvignon Blanc. It would be awful. It won't. You don't want it.
And that's what he took.
Oh my God. I was so pissed. I was so mad.
Gino.
And then from that moment on, I was like, okay, we're not friends. He's like, he does not care about me at all.
What the flip is that's some jacked up shit, right?
I know.
That is.
And then immediately he picks up, and I'm there standing like on the side and he's like, Sauvignon Blanc. And I'm like,
he took 3 of them, didn't he?
Excuse me? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, we're not cool. So and things like that. So just kept on happening.
That's a fucking dick move.
No, I know. That's why it's still in my head. Like I can't shake it because I'm like, what? The audacity.
Let me explain to you what happened to me real quick. So it was me and Katie. She goes to turn her blender on because she's mixing, like she's having a pineapple drink, what I mean? And what happened was when she turned it on, they had her stop. They're like, oh no, we're filming next. They were filming the next set. They were like, give us like 3 minutes. Hold on. And that 3 minutes, I watched it go whoop, and it separated and it curdled, straight up curdled, right? So me being the nice guy, they're like, man, do you mind if she does it again? I said, not at all. I wanted to be fair. So she went and she had to pick new pineapples. Well, this is a curveball. Now we're going to lead into that. So remember this, right? Curveball, right? I want to know the curveballs if you found any during your run, because there was a lot in mine. So like in mine, there was, what the fuck was it? I was taking the rye bread that was left for me. When I was looking at it, I was the only one that broke it open at first because I wanted to see what the hell was inside of it. Right. So I'm looking and I'm like, fuck these olives. I don't want olives in here. But Katie was like, dude, if you want, she had different rye bread. She had cherry rye. So we traded. Oh, see, and that's how cool we were. Like we traded, you know what I mean? But I will tell you this, I let her get them pineapples. They came back. She opened that jar. They were pineapples soaked in lime juice. So they were already, they were funky. Another curveball, right? She poured them in and didn't smell them or taste them. She poured them in and it curdled everything. So now they're like, listen, she's freaking out because now it's about go time. And they're like, do you listen, Jason, she needs to get another pineapple. And I was like, look, that's twice. And they're like, well, we'll just give her a fresh pineapple. And I'm like, you will not give her a fresh pineapple. No. This is a fucking competition, man. Like
I gave her another pineapple.
Right? And like I got the side end of shit the whole fucking episode. I like both of them take this one taking the still, this one taking. Oh my gosh. So when it was my turn to pick, I gave it a little bit back. I knew she was gonna need brown sugar, so I took it. I didn't even need it.
Stop.
I took honey. Why? Because I figured, well, she might try to sweeten something up with that. So we're going to take that too. I used like a tablespoon of it to sweeten my orange juice up instead of sugar. I used honey. Right. So like I got the last laugh, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Actually, like leading into, so the first day when we were like going through our what is that? Like the bin of stuff. Yeah. I saw in Chuck's bin there was like a copper coonpecker, and I thought that all of us were supposed to have one, and I go in, I'm like, wait, I don't have. Yes. So I go in and I'm like, wait, there's not one in mine, and I like look over Gino, do you have one? And he's like, no, I don't have one. And then the producers come over and they're like, oh, sorry, that was left from a past episode, we have to take that. And so they take it and they put it like, off to the, like in the back. And then so, fast forward, we're going into the final challenge. It's me and Gino didn't bring anything for his final challenge. We were all told that we could bring whatever we wanted. I brought obviously a suitcase. I paid to check my own bag of botanicals. And so I am prepared. Gino doesn't have anything. So he took oak chips from 2 trees that were sitting off to the side, and he found that copper coonpecker and he stuck it in his hat. And so right when we're about to walk in, we're standing in front of the barn doors, and I look at his hat and I'm like, Gino, you took the coonpecker. And he turns around, he goes, all's fair in love and war. And we just walk in. I'm like, I want to murder him. I'm like, this man took my Sauvignon Blanc. He has stolen from the set. I'm done. And so it was so funny. But then that like kind of gave me the fire that I needed. I'm like, no, I'm ready now. You have no idea what you just lit up in me.
Oh my God, man! Like, I'll tell you what, bro. Jesus, that wrestling coach must have been teaching him some bad shit.
Yeah. And now looking back on it, obviously it's hilarious. How it all ended up.
Do you have one?
No, and I need one. You know what's so wild? The best part of the week was that Tim's wife came by to the set because it was their last day of filming. She came by and like her and I were sitting like off to the side just chatting, and she was so much fun. And she told me the wildest story of we were talking about coon peckers, and she said, honey, let me tell you, I was driving down the road one day on our side by side with my son, and I saw a dead coon on the side of the road. And I said, baby, you got to get out and get that coon pecker. I haven't laughed that hard in so long. That was so funny. And so he's like, Mom, I don't want to. And they pull over and they get the coon. And I was like, no, you didn't. And she's like, honey, let me show you the pictures.
She got it.
She shows me pictures of her cutting off that raccoon's pecker. She said, we can sell this baby for $20 down at the market. Look, yeah.
We got, and it's not a fake one either. That one's looking got the knuckle on the end of it. Like,
it looks real.
Listen, someone was like, what's the big deal with the coon pecker, man? I'm like, bro, listen, it adds all the flavor.
Yeah. So what I did, I found like some copper mesh in my like in the bin, and I just like wound it up and like stuck it in there, and then immediately after, and then everyone's doing it. But I mean, all's fair in love and war. So
well, it's funny because the guy I just interviewed last, Chris Fortner, is the guy that makes these.
Shut up. Yeah. Okay, Chris, I want one.
He's in here 8:24. He was in here, so he might steal. He might have heard you. So
yeah,
Chris, you got to get your. He has the best slogan in the world, right? And his slogan is running a pecker business by hand.
Stop.
I'm like, bro, you can't. It's got a little raccoon on there. You imagine how many raccoon wieners he's saved? Like,
yeah, for real.
Circumcision of so many.
I mean,
raccoons.
I cannot drive down the road and see a dead raccoon without thinking about it now. Like, I'm just like, right? I constantly think like Miss Shelby would have pulled over on the side of the road.
And when they tell their stories, it's so funny because like they got a lot of like emphasis in it and shit like that and stuff.
Yeah.
So, listen, Clara, I mean, honestly, this was a very fast conversation here. I don't even think I got to ask you a third of the questions that I have.
I know, this is so much fun.
Well, then listen. So let's hit the music thing real fast.
Okay.
So you play the guitar.
I do. Yes.
Okay. Let's go. Let me see if I think I might have had some fucking fast, quick round questions.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Maybe. No, we're just gonna go off the cuff, I think. Mic drop. No. No. That's more. No. Okay. So if you were to have a drink with any rock star, live or dead, who would it be and what would you drink?
Ooh,
what would you order for you and what would you order for them?
Ooh, okay. Let's see. I would love to have a drink with Paul McCartney or any of the Beatles. That would be really fun. Maybe if I could have like a little team effort, that would be great. And they're English, so we're having gin. But I would love to have a French 75, and they can have something a little bit more classic, maybe a Negroni. That feels right.
Okay, now explain that last drink to me because I've never heard that before ever.
It's like one of the most common gin cocktails. So like a Negroni and a gin and tonic are like the most commonly used cocktails that have gin in them. My
buddy Ryan used to drink gin and tonics all the time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, nothing good came out of his end.
There was a night that I had, like some New Year's Eve night that I had like almost like about 3/4 of a bottle of gin of just gin and tonics. Then it was a wild New Year's Eve. Like a wild as in I was at a house party and I fell asleep by the fire outside.
Okay.
So wild.
Earlier in our conversations, you had said that, you can compare making gin to playing music.
Yes.
So how is that like writing? You know what I mean? Like almost like writing a song, right?
It's just like writing a song. I write songs, and so it feels the same. I'm like, you're just like blending and like, does this pair? What would be next? Like, so a lot of times when I write a song, it like I'll be driving and like a lyric will hit me and I'll just be like, and I'll write it down. I'll think, okay, I'm going to write a song around that. And so the same thing will happen with me with like making a recipe, specifically with gin. I'm like, you know what? Like, orange hibiscus is like calling to me, like, and I'll just do something all off of that. And just kind of like, well, what do you like? What does this feel like? What does this need? You know, and you're just kind of flowing through it.
How are you picking? Because that's really where I think I'm blown away by how you're able to, like, in your mind, like, how do you know what a hibiscus, what that's going to taste like? Because like me, I just picture what it smells like or what it looks like. You know what I mean? Like, you pretty much like, dude, I'm gonna put you on the beach with a little drink and like that. So like, I don't understand, like, to have that kind of knowledge of what to put together. Like, I think that's
a lot of tasting, a lot of smelling. Like when I was in Kentucky, we had sensory packets where I would smell things and I would have to guess, like, they're blacked out. So I have to figure out what they are. And that really helped develop that. But then I created, like, you know, this gin library of just different individual botanicals. So I have tasted and smelled all of these. So I know what they all taste and smell like. And I'm like, you know what? I think this and this would go really well together. And obviously I love to cook because, like, if you can do this, you can cook. So I'm like, you know what? Oh, well, some people can. But this girl can. So I will, like, it's just like, oh, you know what? Taste it. That needs this. And so you'll have, like, you know, a little glass in front of you, and I'll just add droplets of things and I'll taste it. And like, yeah, I need some ginger. I need some galangal. I need, you know, and it just kind of calls to you. It just kind of calls to me.
I mean, are you just like going through the catalog of like botanicals of like, all right, this just, I can't even pronounce this. So yes, I want that. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I've just tasted all of them, like, that I have on deck already. You know, like my like botanical library is like, we just redesigned the lab at St. Petersburg Distillery. They redesigned it all for me back in the day. And so then I just, you know, got to come back and it's all how I wanted it to be. But there's just rows, like, just long, like, tons of rows of just individual botanicals. And so I can go through there and it's all in alphabetical order. I'm like, okay, we're going to play with lemon balm today. And then, you know, just work with it.
That's like, you know, so you and Amanda Bryant have like the coolest arrangements ever, because like I watch her when she's getting ready for her little, her schools, her teachings and stuff. Like, man, she gets to go through that room and like, oh, I'm taking this today. I want some of this.
Yep.
Man, I got to go to Costco. I got to wheel around 500 pounds of sugar, answer 50 questions on why I got 500 pounds of sugar.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I just go through a garden and just go picking.
Listen, the next time me and my wife come to Florida, I definitely want to come down there and check out.
Please do.
I want to try that gin. Like,
yeah,
the gin is, I want to try your gin for sure.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to give me first? Which one am I trying first?
The tropical, for sure.
Got to take it.
I mean, hell, if you want to try my Win & Jar, you can try that too. I kept it.
See, mine wasn't shelf stable, so.
Yeah, yours was cream. Yeah.
Drink it. I never made a cream in my life. Now I'm like cream god over here.
Actually, I had a conversation with a vendor today about that. I was like testing out a new like alkali, like a new density meter, and he was asking me about all the different products that I make. He was like, do you make any cream products? And I was like, oh, no. I did that one. No.
They are.
No.
Yeah. There's a winery here where I'm at. They're doing cream wine.
No. Ew.
But it's like, hey, now, what's wrong with that? There's cream in here, but you would never know.
I know, that's different. I don't know. I think like, well, you know, I double fist. I have like wine and liquor, you know, it's like, you got to be ready. But I don't know. I told him, I was like, I've done it once and I will not, I hope that I don't have to do it again, because I did not like the process of it. Maybe it's just because like when you do it on large scale, like keeping it stable is so hard because like you have to make sure that it's always chilled
Talk
and it's in a chill tank. And I've got like, I only have 3 chill tanks other than like the fermenters. So it's too much of a headache.
So when you're fermenting on that big of a scale like that, how much heat does that create on its own?
Oh, it's a good bit. I mean, like even if, they do that in every like distillery tour. They like walk you through these open top fermenters and you feel the heat, like, and you're like, you can feel it. You can feel the heat. Can't you feel it? And then you see the heat, like, and the vapor coming off, which is really cool. But like we're closed top. We don't have open top fermenters. So but they have like relief valves on top. So they're all good. But
you guys cool them down too? Like you keep it on the cooler side? See,
it's hooked up to our glycol system.
So people don't understand. Some people don't, but like, that's why they dog my yeast so bad. Like I'm a turbo yeast guy, right? Because I have ADHD and I need to see instant reaction.
Yeah.
So like,
I need to know that it's going to work.
But listen, you're going to dog it because they're like, oh, it gets a funky taste and a funky smell. Well, mine don't, because I keep it cool. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You will not reach 21% alcohol. And that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get as much out of it as I can.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping this mash cold. Not like, I'm not putting fish tank heaters in and keeping it rolling. No, read the instructions.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's how you ferment. Like in every distillery, you have to ferment with cooling coils. You keep cooling coils in it and you set it at a temperature and it stays there. If it starts to heat up, guess what? The cooling coils come through. You send glycol or cooling tower water through and it chills it down, keeps it where you need to be. Because once you start bumping up the heat, that's when you start to get off aromas, off flavors. That's when things start to sour, get really funky and weird and funky in a bad way.
Yeah,
so keep it cold. Keep it cold, Jason.
See, you know what's up. I mean, you're a double master distiller.
Yeah.
Where
a triple, I guess. I mean, because I've been a master distiller at 2 places, and then
where's Bruiser at? Bruiser said he's the only 2-time. Where are you at, Bruiser? All right, Clara. Listen, hey, great conversation tonight. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. This is so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you want to come on, listen, we'll have you. Let us know what you're doing. Where can we find you? You got all your handles. Where are you at on social media?
Yeah, I'm Clara Robbins on Instagram. And then I also have a fun little distilling Instagram, Clara Master Distiller, Clara period Master Distiller. And that's where I post like any videos and stuff at the distillery, what I'm actually doing and working on. So that's fun too. And then if you want to see me, you can come to St. Petersburg Distillery.
St. Petersburg Distillery. And, my wife is itching to get away somewhere warm.
Let's go. My husband works there, so we'll just
have to bring the shirt down.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
They'll know who you're looking for.
I had to pull that one out. All right. Hey, thank you again, Miss Master Distiller Clara Robbins board. I like that. You got to put it in front of it better.
I'll change it.
Hey, you have a good night and thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time and your conversation.
Keep
kicking ass.
Same to you.
I'm trying every day.
Yeah.
You have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Boom. And there we are, folks. Another night, another episode. Great guest. I'll tell you what, I learned a lot about gin. That's for sure. Gin is where it's at. So, yeah, man, if you guys are down St. Petersburg, stop in, check her out, taste some of her 2-time award-winning gin. Until next time. Bam. And we are almost out.